Good morning, everybody. This is Cinder with Care Therapy and the Savvy Caregivers, and just coming once again to bring you guys some awesome information, things that are very relevant. That's what we do in our community to make sure that our caregivers are informed, are enlightened, and just to have the support that they need. And this morning, I'm just so honored, very much honored and pleased to introduce to you a very good friend of mine for years. And she's kind of like my boss lady, too, a little bit, and a mentor. Melanie, thank you so much for being on with us this morning. This is Knab, Melony Knab with Legal Shield, right? Did I
Yes.
say that right? I get that right?
Yeah.
But then you
That's
have a NAB group. Is it NAB Consulting?
we
Or
do.
NAB Consulting. And so this morning we're talking about Legal Shield. I know that you guys have heard about it. You may have heard prepaid legal, but we're Legal Shield. And we just want to present to you guys the information that is so relevant that can also assist you with making your caregiving journey easier. That's what we're about. We're about supporting you guys. And this is just such a very, very relevant and important subject because, you know, in the times that we're in right now, so many things are going on that we should not be left out here by ourselves to make legal decisions and contractual decisions. We need support, and that's what Melanie is going to talk to us about this morning. Thank you, Melanie. Tell us a little bit about yourself and about Legal Shield, exactly
Well,
what all you do.
thank you so much. It's just been a pleasure having your friendship. My name is Melony Knab, and I've been with Legal Shield over 20 years. I was actually a business owner in Houston, Texas, when I was introduced to these services. And I had it for the just in case. And I ended up being a user of the services before I actually started marketing the services. And because I became a believer, it was an investor that had, he wanted controlling interest of a company that I had and a product that I had developed for women's health. And he sued me after I terminated him because he had backed out on a $2.5 million contract with us where someone was buying our product for $52 million and he wanted 66% of the company. So I sent the information to Legal Shield and they said, absolutely do not do it. I contacted the investor. He got disgruntled. I terminated our relationship and he sued me for $175,000. And in this lawsuit, all I did was just turned it over to Legal Shield and they wrote them a 3-page letter, and 3 days later, they dropped the lawsuit. So that made me become a believer of the product. And then I reached out to find out how I could market this to other companies and individuals because it was such a fantastic service. And here I am 20 years later.
Wow.
But we have, then the company's 52 years old. We're rock solid company. And like with multiple companies, there's a misconception about, you have to be in trouble to have a relationship with an attorney. And then in most cases, people can't afford an attorney. So they don't, they're thinking about money, not saving. And through Legal Shield, it's a membership subscription where our members have access to over $100 million attorneys, because that's what we pay them every year. They have access to them just from the palm of their hand with their cell phone. And with over the last 20 years, I do nothing without consulting with our law firm. And over the last 20 years, they've saved me over $500,000 in legal issues. And it's things it's a car accident. Wanted to repossess a payoff car, even though I showed the title to it. It was numerous things. IRS issue where it reported that someone reported an $80,000 where someone reported an $80,000 income and it triggered a $23,000 debt with Internal Revenue. And the attorneys simply looked over everything, sent me a letter and said, don't worry about anything. We're going to work with the IRS directly. And 6 months later, I got a closing notice that I didn't owe them anything. So
Wow.
again, it's about having legal access to these attorneys. And if most time people don't think about getting their wills done. Well, our sales in Legal Shield went up by 200% during 2020 COVID because of the living will process and the wills, having your wills done. And Legal Shield has increased our or enhanced our services. And those services now include for the member and their spouse, a living will, healthcare power of attorney, and financial power of attorney with the will process. And there's zero cost involved in that. They do all of that for our members within a 5 to 7 day turnaround, just because it's important. We never want to die without a will.
Wow, that's amazing. I love that. I love that. The legal access part of it. A lot of times we, everyday people, and especially those of us of a certain age, we're not aware of how important it is to have access to legal services. And like you just alluded to, we think that we can't afford it. We don't have, enough money, so we're going to try to figure this out ourselves and end up either losing money or not, or having to pay out something that maybe we don't have shouldn't have to pay out. I remember several. I've used it. Oh my gosh, many times. I remember for one of my businesses, I had someone to come to pave and line the parking lot. Well, they paved it, but they never came back to put the lines. The yellow lines and the handicap never came back. And I was able to pass it on to Legal Shield. And within a matter of time, they came and they had to reimburse me or they had to complete the process. And that was amazing. I remember another time we had gone on a vacation and I promise you we stayed at Hotel Hell. It was horrible. Every day. Every day. It was it was something. Well, passed it on to Legal Shield and we ended up, not having to pay for the hotel services at all. So it's everyday things that we may not even think. And you can talk about that we don't think we need an attorney. And I learned this through the Legal Shield classes is that it's just so important to be able to, we don't know the laws, the regulations, the rules, and to pass it to Legal Shield or to your attorney, really makes a difference in your quality of life.
That's right. Well, a lot of times we'll just, because a document is presented to us or a contract is presented to us, we just feel that the person that has presented it to us is honest and truthful. And in most cases, those companies or individuals have had their attorneys review that before they send it to us for our signature. So contract and document reviews is very, very valuable. I feel is very valuable. Being a former being a former business owner, and of course now a business owner with Legal Shield, I have everything reviewed because it doesn't cost anything. It's all part of the membership subscription. It's kind of like the Teladoc. You pay for a membership subscription, but you get to talk to the doctor however many times you need to regarding different issues of your health. We're the same way except with attorneys. And like I said, if we have that in the palm of our hand, it gives us a different posture because now we have someone that can educate us, inform us, direct us, all in the legal aspect versus us, as you said, trying to fix things ourselves and then we really mess things up. But I have everything reviewed. I simply just let everyone know whenever I have something in an agreement or in a contract form, I just let them know I'll be back with you in about 72 hours. I'm gonna have my attorneys review this. And they take you more serious.
Mm-hmm.
Most people cannot afford to go and have an attorney write a letter or make a phone call on their behalf. I
Correct.
mean, think about the consumers that their warranties have, just expired or maybe going to expire and they have a consumer issue. We have had multiple things over the last 20 years where a broken phone, a broken oven, a car issue, but we use Legal Shield for everything. And now with the with the new gun law that has just been
Yeah.
passed, that how it concealed carry, all of my law enforcement agents is calling me in to present Legal Shield with the gun owner supplement because you never know who's going to have a gun or a weapon have access to it in a grocery store or in a parking lot or on the street. You just never know. And if you have that protection, which we highly encourage everyone to still go to those concealed carry classes, we want to make sure that you understand if you get in a situation where you have to use a weapon, it could be someone breaking in your home, breaking in your car. It does not matter. If you have to use that weapon, you're going to have to hire a law firm. And you want to be proactive. We want our clients to be proactive with Legal Shield and the gun owner supplement simply because it's kind of like having an accident. You don't go and get full coverage auto insurance after you get a totaled out car. You
Right.
have the insurance first, then it's covered because you have it before the accident. It's the same thing with Legal Shield. We just want to educate, and educating is simply providing these law firms, which is nationwide, providing those law firms, our clients, those law firms, to have legal protection. I mean, there's some states where you can't carry a gun in your vehicle. You can't carry it through the state lines. Well, you want to make sure what those gun laws are. And to go back to the consultation, let's go back on. Whenever our members contact our law firms, no matter what state, I just had a member sign up in Louisiana. They're from Maryland. They were traveling through a little town over off of 165 and they got a speeding ticket. Well, they immediately said, can we use Legal Shield for that? Yes. So what they did, they went on home. They were headed to the airport. They're in Maryland. They have a court date here in Louisiana. They contacted the provider law firm in Maryland. Maryland contacted Legal Shield here in Louisiana. They're going to have representation on that speeding ticket, and they're still at work in Maryland.
Wow.
So again, it's a network of these provider law firms that are helping our clients on a consistent basis. When you call to ask a question, you're going to get a call back that day. And now they have a really robust mobile app where all you have to do is after you sign up as a Legal Shield after you sign up as a Legal Shield member, you set up your mobile app and you can actually go in there and type up exactly what you want the attorney to review before his phone call back to you. Send it
Wow.
in electronically through the mobile app and you can communicate that way. It gives you every history conversation with a case number, and you're able to respond and go back and forth with this new robust mobile app, which I just find it just so trendy and so fun. I'm just like to call the attorneys and say
Yeah.
hi. It's just easy access. But one of our former attorney generals had come to one of the meetings that I had, and at one time he was just like he was stunned. And again, he was a former attorney general. He said, we're professional problem solvers, but we're only one person. He said, I am an attorney general, and I do not want people knowing my business. So I'm not going to call just some attorney friend
Right.
because an attorney friend may not be able to help me, or my real estate attorney may not be able to help me with a car accident or a divorce or anything to that nature. And he said, nowhere else but in the United States of America can someone get dressed up, represent $100 million attorneys, and never go to law school. All you have to do is become a Legal Shield agent. And I think it was that night, we had 45 people sign up that night.
Really?
It's
Oh,
just the
wonderful.
power of understanding.
Yes.
If you understand what you have, the value you have, you will not ever live without Legal Shield. I mean, my husband's in law enforcement, he's going into his 36th year. We will not be without Legal Shield. We have 3 grandchildren we take care of. We have full custody of them. We will not be without Legal Shield because when something arises, we have access to law firms that can help us protect those children. We will
Absolutely.
not be without it.
Yes, yes, that's wonderful. And so going back to caregivers, this is also amazing and it's so rich. Going back to caregivers, right now our caregivers find themselves sandwiched in between their seniors that they're caring for, and then their children, and then their grandchildren. They're boomerangs. Some of them are coming back home. So a senior or a caregiver who signs up for the as a member, how can they Can they use the service? Let me say that for issues
Absolutely.
for their loved ones on both sides.
Absolutely. And not, we could do, they can do that through the prop, they can do that through the will preparation. But they can actually sign a power of attorney over to the caregiver, which is the caregiver can then talk to the attorneys on behalf of their loved ones.
How about issues? You mentioned your grandchildren. Okay, so if they're having issues with perhaps their son or daughter or grandchildren are having issues, do they have to have their own policy? If there's an issue with their senior, do they have to have their own policy, or is there a family policy that everyone can use and benefit from?
No, they would have to have their separate, if they're 26 years old or older, they would have to have their own membership. However, they can each give each other power of attorney to speak on each other's behalf if that's necessary.
I see.
And the attorneys advise on all of that, what can and cannot be done.
Right.
Again, I'm not the attorney, I'm just the agent. I'm the liaison between the law firms and the clients.
Okay. And my last question, Melanie, caregivers, many of them are home. They're non-paid caregivers, family caregivers in the home caring for their loved ones, unpaid. So that says a lot right there. You have financial issues there, then they can no longer work because they've made the amazing choice to be a caregiver in the home. Can we talk a little bit about extra earned income and home-based business with this, where they can build a business in the home while they're taking care of their loved ones?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. We're always looking for part-time agents or full-time agents. And the way that Legal Shield has set it up is that it is home-based business. I personally have an outside office, a private office, simply because I have grandchildren still at home, a little bit, more noisy with pets.
Hmm.
But I have an off-site office, and I started the first 5 years of my business was in my office at my home, and I did it part-time. Part-time, I made $80,000 my first year, and that was
Wow.
part-time from
Wow.
home.
Yeah.
Single mom, teenage daughter, sports. I mean, it gives you the flexibility to be a business owner. And a lot of times people have to be coached because they're so used to being an employee, told what to do, how to do it, when to do it. And with Legal Shield, they give you the freedom to sit at home, do your training online, market it online, friends, family, relatives. I mean, whoever needs the services, which everyone needs it, they just need to know about it.
Right.
But Legal Shield pays every single day, direct
Wow.
deposit, every
Wow.
single day.
Every
My
day.
mom has been an associate the entire 20 years she was my first member, but she's been an associate also, and she made a sale yesterday and she was paid on it today.
Wow.
So she is really excited about
Every
that because
day.
we work, we want to get paid. We have bills every day, so we get paid every day. And Legal Shield has that. They have flexibility. Like I said, they have the online training, the daily direct deposit, lifetime residual income. I was still earning a very comfortable income in 2020 when everything was shut down because everyone still needed an attorney,
Right.
everyone needed a will, and I was getting paid the residual income off of my previous business just because the members kept the services. They send our clients on, well-deserved trips, and they pay them incentives, they pay them monthly bonuses. I have never, even been a business owner, I have never seen such caring, Christian, loving leadership like Legal Shield has. And
Yes.
over the last 20 years, it's just gotten better. Every time we turn around, there's something new, something exciting, and it keeps our agents excited, it keeps
Mhm.
them happy at home. But yes, there's a huge opportunity for people to become agents and as a caregiver and
Right.
earn a little extra money on the side.
What about training? It's training involved, I'm sure you don't just give us you know, the packet and leave us there. What kind of training is involved in becoming
Well,
a?
after they sign up, after an agent signs up, they get a link and then they can sign up. They have a calendar and it has all kinds of training on there so that you learn
Okay.
the services. And you don't have to be a 20-year experience. I had no clue what I was doing with Legal Shield when I first came in. And I have sold over 8,000 members. Well, let me rephrase that by the end of the month. But if I've sold close to 8,000 memberships,
Hmm.
I've earned over right at over $2 million, and I'm still comfortable every time I go in to offer these services to someone because I'm confident. I
Yes.
know what our attorneys can do for our clients. And again, it's just simply having access to these quality law firms that otherwise we wouldn't be able to afford them. I mean, an IRS attorney is $1,500 to $1,800 an hour, and it didn't cost me a penny for
Right.
them to work on my IRS debt that was $22,000. It would have been
God.
cheaper for me to pay the $22,000 debt than an IRS attorney for 6 months.
Right.
So again, it's about the education. And Legal Shield takes time to help our clients with that education. We have everything's online now. You can
Yes.
have it's just so easy. I mean, I would never ever, you know, encourage someone to sign up and then they don't know what to do after that.
Correct.
But we've been here to help them. I've been a corporate appointed trainer for several years now. And again, it just helps. Kind of like we have in this Zoom meeting, they have the same thing where we invite those clients to the Zoom meeting and Legal Shield hosts it and presents for us. All we have to do is be the connector.
Right.
And they never, ever, ever make it impossible for someone. I mean, we have high school dropouts later in life that have they earn $1 million a year with our company.
Wow.
And people just want to make an extra $1,000 a month. They're not
Hmm.
looking at $1 million a year, and they make it easy for our clients to give other clients this access to get paid for this. So that's why we don't advertise. Legal Shield pays us instead of advertising
We're the
because we're
advertisers. Absolutely. This has been so wonderful, Melanie. Thank you so much for your time and all the information. How can our audience get in contact with you? How can we connect with
um, they can contact me through my cell phone if they would like, at 225-503-8000. 225-503-8000.
you? Okay.
And if you can put my email on there, Melony at nabconsultinggroup.com.
That's right.
And it's Melony at nab, consultinggroup.com.
Thank you so much. Thank you, friend. Thank you for the information. We're going to be exposing this to our caregiving community, and we're going to grow. We're going to grow. We're going to make sure everyone's covered who desire to be covered and just be there to support. That's what we do. We love
Absolutely. And
you.
they help every step of the way.
Absolutely. And the information will be posted to this podcast. And we look forward to seeing you real soon, Mel.
Thank you so much,
Thank
Cindy.
you. Take good care. Bye bye.